96. Yo, I said stop myself, I'm not myself. Headed into anything knowing that I got myself. And all my enemies wishing that I shot myself. Dead, on the bed, clothes covered in red. Stop myself, I'm not myself. Headed into anything knowing that I got myself. And all my enemies wishing that I shot myself. Dead.
What is up, y'all? It is Phil, Mike, and Nick here with another episode of Mike vs. Nick. We got Phil joining us, blessing us today. We're about to go through UFC 312, breakdown, betting predictions, or betting leans, breakdown, predictions, all that. We're going to get right into it. How are you all doing today?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I came here to play the producer role today. So we're trying new stuff for the streams and everything for you guys to make things, look better, be more efficient. Got to upgrade the quality in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Mike versus Nick is going to be legit.
Hell yeah.
But
How you doing, Nick?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not supposed to cuss in the first 90 seconds of a video, so I'm just trying to kind of try to stay on mute for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're all good to go. You know, the name value on this card isn't too crazy. A lot of people have been hating on it. I understand because it does cost $80, but there's some good up and comers that are fighting this weekend, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of very closely contested bouts. I feel like it's going to be there's going to be some bangers, bro. I know that the name value is almost zero up until the co-main and main events, but if this were a fight night and not a pay-per-view, I mean, I'm hyped regardless, but I'll be pretty damn hyped about this card as a fight night. I think it's gonna be all right, man. What do you think? Do you think this card's gonna deliver?
Nick,
Mike,
go.
Mike, it's not a fucking fight night, Mike. It's a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view, Mike. And we're not talking about ifs, ands, or whats, my friends. We talking absolutes. And if we're talking in absolutes, this is absolutely a pay-per-view, a numbered pay-per-view. UFC 312. And the travesty that the UFC is trying to hustle its fans and its people out of fucking $80. A price hike of over 40% from 2020. It's fucking insane. Mind blown. With that being said, I'm also excited about this fight card. I'm not going to lie.
Look, I'm still watching the fights regardless of $80. Maybe do a nice friendly stream, maybe at the bar. But
there's no maybe about it. We all here. You're not paying 80. You're not paying 80. You're not paying 80. We're streaming it, baby.
Well, I might pay a third with somebody. You know what I mean? Because we bought the pay-per-view last time, so we kind of like the quality better.
Yeah, it is better. Aside from that, ESPN Plus is always messing up. It's not nearly as bad as Amazon Prime. I was watching the boxing matches over the weekend on Amazon Prime, and it was god awful. When it was not glitching and freezing, the boxing event last week was amazing. The camera angles, they were doing a lot of good stuff with it, but there was a lot of lag, a lot of like grainy quality. But that's boxing. This is UFC. Both of them are having trouble, but
well, speaking of boxing,
fix your streaming services. I tweeted at Amazon over the weekend, and they tweeted back, and they were like, "Here's our troubleshooting." No, fix your product.
Speaking of boxing, I want to get Nick's opinion on David Benavidez versus Dave Morrell. What you think about that fight?
First of all, I want to tell anyone that's listening, I told you so. Anyone that thought David Morrell was going to be the fight to beat David Benavidez is an absolute joke. You have a high volume pressure forward volume puncher who may not be the heaviest puncher, especially at 175, and David Benavidez versus someone that lacks in the defensive department, such as David Morrell. You saw David Morrell go a tough 12 rounds with Mr. Hot Rod. And just from there, scoping to me, David Benavidez finishes Hot Rod in 7 rounds. And yes, I know boxing math doesn't add up, but I knew the minute this match was announced that it was going to be a David Benavidez fight. With that being said, I scored it a pretty damn clear 9-3 for David Benavidez. The only rounds I scored for David Morrell was the 10-8 with the faulty ass knockdown. I can understand it being slightly scored a knockdown, but it also surprises me, especially since David Taylor is actually a pretty damn good referee. And I also scored round 1 and 3 for David Morrell. Outside of that, I thought it was a pretty clear cut for David Benavidez all the way through. His inside selection and punching is some of the most beautiful work we've seen. On the inside, he boxes well. Maybe not the best counter puncher, and he has defensive lapses. So I'm a little bit worried against the heavier punches at 175. I think he can beat just about anyone at 168 and 175, except for maybe an Artur Beterbiev. Yes, that includes B-Ball as well. I think he beats a B-Ball. I think B-Ball's long jab doesn't have enough power and backing to keep him away. So with that being said, David Benavidez looked incredible. I think he is the future. I think he is the truth 168 or 175. If he does happen to get a fight against Beterbiev later in the year, if Beterbiev beats B-Ball, if we don't get that trilogy match, I would say Beterbiev probably finishes him in 9.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I want to talk about too.
Defensively, there's a lot to be desired, and I just don't think David Morrell lacks the same power punching. And real one thing too as well about David Benavidez's record is it's super impressive right now, bro. You look at the last 6 of his wins: David Lemieux, Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade. You have Galatsky clearly, and now you have fucking David Morrell. Fuck, what a resume in his last 5. So, yeah.
Other than that fight being an absolute fucking banger, I want to get your opinion on it because I know you guys love this part about Stephen Fulton's fit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the hardest fit of all time.
I think it is the hardest fit of all time.
You know, that's what I love about boxing over MMA. At least today's MMA, as compared to like the early 2000s, is the uniqueness of fight kits. And if we're not talking about uniqueness of fight kits, what the fuck? Stephen Fulton went straight out of fucking Def Jam out here, bro. Sick as fuck, bro. How hard is that, bro? Actual boxing shoes that actually look like Tim's? Come on. The socks to start it off. No, they weren't. They may have been like actual like Tim designs, but they were actual boxing shoes.
Yeah, it was a collab, I think.
Yeah. Someone that does like Soul Shoe Collection, if I'm not mistaken, that does like actual
the shoe
boxing
surgeon.
Shoes.
That's what they call
the
them.
shoe surgeon. Yes, they do like actual boxing shoes. So those are like real certified boxing shoes that you can wear in a ring. So they're not like heavy ass Tims lugging around. It's pretty dope.
Also,
one thing I want to bring up that my bad, Mike.
I was just gonna say, because I know we're about to start talking about UFC, but I just wanted to, since we talked about a little bit of boxing.
I know what you're going because I was gonna say the same thing.
Dude, Isaac Cruz and Angel Fierro,
bro, fight of the night.
That legit, bro. That's one of the greatest fights, boxing, MMA, whatever, that I've ever seen. I was watching with my boys, and I'm like, because the way Isaac Cruz came out in the first round, he's beating the shit out of Fierro. And then slowly at the end of round 2 and then into round 3, Fierro started figuring it out. When Isaac Cruz would come in crazy, he would figure it out with a little right and a left, and he was catching him on on the turnaround. And
they averaged 147 punches per round, bro.
Dude, I was shocked.
147 punches per round. Yeah, I was way too wide for Isaac Cruz. But I guess I can understand because Isaac Cruz kept hitting those singular heavy shots in rounds 6 through 10, from the uppercuts to the overhand rights and some trick body work, as compared to Angel Fierro was putting on more of a higher volume of punches, but just didn't have the same exact sting as Isaac Cruz.
I do.
For whatever reason, Morrell Benavidez overshadowed this fight. This was fight of the night right here.
Easily. And also Fierro was, I mean, they were both landing, but there was moments where Isaac Cruz was noticeably hurt. And he's so tough that even though he's hurt and you can see him kind of stumble, he's so fucking sturdy that he continues to try to go forward. And I feel like Cruz was hurt in that fight more than Fierro was. And Fierro's been at 140 longer. He's had more time to adjust. But that fight was a banger. I scored that 95-95. I scored it 5 rounds to 5. It was incredible. And at the end, man, and for anyone who didn't watch, and they're like, oh, 98, 92, 97, 93, 96, 94, it's pretty clear for Cruz. Now you gotta watch it, bro. That's a fight of the year contender off of it.
I actually scored it 96-94 for Isaac Cruz myself as well. I agree with the 96-94, but I thought rounds essentially 6 through 8, all of those 3 rounds were swing rounds. So if you scored either which rounds for the way, because when you look at it, Isaac Cruz pretty clearly wins round 1 and 2. Round 10 was clear as day for Fierro, in my personal opinion. And then you have rounds 4 that was clear for Fierro, and rounds 3 for Cruz. Then you have 6 through 8 that are the swing rounds, kind of depending on how you're looking at it.
And Cruz took 9. I had Cruz up 5-4 going into the 10th, and I gave Fierro the 10th. So that made it 5-5 on mine.
Yeah, I thought Fierro 110 I thought that was one of his clearest, if not his most clear round. Maybe besides 7. I mean, I don't know. 7's the swing round, but I just thought Fierro may have maybe put a little bit more behind his punches. So I love boxing, man. Boxing's so fucking back, bro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Can't wait for the next Riyadh season card, so that's gonna be a good one. Maybe get you and Rush to break it down. February 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, 2 Saturdays away, 3 Saturdays.
Is that that's Schofield, Stevenson, under Beefball, Better Beef 2, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Best part
that
about
card's
it.
So stacked. Hamza Suarez versus Carlos fucking Adames is on that fight card.
Isn't Zhang fighting?
Doesn't Ajit Kayabal fight on that fight card too as well?
Yeah, I believe.
I think
Zhang is fighting too, the big boy.
It's Zhang versus Ajit Kayabal. That's the fucking fight. Like, it just clicked for me. Let's go, bro. I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, Ajit Kayabal, I've called his last 2 fights to a T. He's been 2-1 underdog against Frank Sanchez, and he was a huge fucking dog versus Mercadalov. Bro, I don't know, bro. Ajit Kayabal is one of the few heavyweights that body punches besides Daniel Dubois. He looks like a big slob, but he has great footwork and movement. Don't be surprised.
Oh, yeah,
Don't be surprised if he punches. Bro, we put a fucking hammer down against Frank Sanchez, remember?
That shit was awesome.
Don't be surprised if Ajit Kayabal punches a hole in the gas tank of gassed ass Willie Zhang. So just saying, it's just something to think about.
If anyone can see, we got the yeah on, baby.
Yeah, I guess I missed the call. That's what happens when you don't look at the group chat good enough. So
yeah,
don't worry, we got one on the way.
There was a message in the group chat. He was like, "Hey, let me know."
That's where I fucked up. I need one though, because that shit's.
No worry. What do you size? Medium?
I'm a large.
All right.
I know I'm a lot smaller on camera. I mean, I'm not as big as Big Mike, but you know, a lot smaller on camera. That's what I said every time I film myself banging a chick. Just kidding. I've never been with a chick.
All right, Nick. What do you prefer right now? DraftKings or Bet Online AG?
Personally, DraftKings is king when it comes to MMA. But the unfortunate thing is, since we don't have any props as of right now, I would prefer just to use DraftKings, but we don't have any props yet. It's just too early in the week. But yeah, DraftKings is my preferred.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I just want to double check because we need to get into UFC 312 already. So I'm going to pull up Bet Online AG just because they have some props, just the over and unders. Yeah. At least, while DraftKings only has the money line odds. So we'll go with that one. Let's go with Bet Online AG. And let me zoom in for you boys. Let me know if you guys can see that. I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, it's not working. I go with DraftKings then. That's what happens when we doing practice shit before to get it on.
Well, luckily we have all the time. Now we know. Now we know what's good.
There we go. See, DraftKings knows what's up. This is why DraftKings came. Yeah. All right, first fight of the night. Hyung Sung Park versus Nijan. I ain't gonna pronounce that, but some guy from Mongolia. So Park is a minus 230 favorite. Mike, who do you got in this fight?
So this is an interesting fight for me. As we saw in Nyamjargal Tumen Dembarel's last fight, that is a hell of a name right there. As we saw in his last fight, he has some pretty, although he lost to Carlos Hernandez, he has some pretty significant power in his hands. Looking at Park, you know, he has 4 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission. So this guy's also a finisher in his own right. One thing that I want to say is that if he engages for too long on the feet against Tumen Dembarel, he could find himself in trouble. I want to look and see. I don't think Tumen Dembarel has any. Oh, he has 5 subs and 2 knockouts. This is a tough one to call. I want to lean Tumen Dembarel just based on the odds because he's a 2-1 underdog right now, and you know he went toe to toe with Carlos Hernandez, who I think is a very solid fighter. He's a good test for anybody. Dude, I don't know, man. I think Tumen Dembarel could finish him. If I'm being honest, I think he has a chance to win by knockout, and I think his name I think Tumendembrel's name has something to do with like the King of Knockouts or something. I can't remember. I need to see what this motherfucker's nickname is. Because you go Art of Knockout, and whole time he has 2 knockouts and 5 subs. But to be fair, he had some power, and Carlos Hernandez has a chin. So, I'm actually gonna start the card off with a dog and Tumendembrel. How am I not gonna bet on that name?
All right, Nick, what about you?
I don't know, bro. I remember when Tumen Dembarel fought Top Noi Kawan or whatever that that fool from Thailand was on the road to UFC. I went to a split decision there that I personally thought he lost. And Park has good wrestling. Park is a good body puncher, which I love more than anything. High pace, high volume here. He's savage. He's more athletic. Tumen Dembarel, I don't think has the striking advantage that Mike think he has. I don't think.
No, I didn't say he had a striking advantage. I just said if Park stands for long enough, he could get chinned.
I mean, and I don't see it. There's nowhere on his record that proves that he's been chinned yet. So I'm going to ride with the undefeated guy that doesn't know how to lose. I'm going to trust the South Korean's cardio here for you. I think Park's the next solid Korean. I think he's fought in some good, solid people too as well. Shannon Ross may not be the best guy, but the way he finished up Top Noi, the way he finished up Jarmy Sayre guy is too as well. So give me Park by submission too as well. When the odds do drop, I will be taking Park by submission. I think he's going to wrestle, find his way to the back, and eventually finish Mr. Turmeric. Mr. Turmeric.
We'll Turmeric.
I do think his
and I don't care what anyone says, even if you are Mr. Turmeric over here that got that sick drop him, no hook, rear naked choke finish. That's some low fight IQ shit. Because if that motherfucker was just tough enough or just had just much oxygen, he just gassed out his arms and got a rear naked choke and essentially would have possibly lost on just being gassed out from a fucking rear naked chokes not getting hooks in. Round 3 or not, I don't give a fuck. That shit was dumb as fuck. Give me Park, who will finish you with hooks in. Thank you, sir. So first Mike versus Nick pick is the first one.
There we go. Chris Cushman. What's up, man?
What's
we got
up,
Fu in
Chris?
the building. We got
Fu.
Tim in the building.
TJ, let's go.
All right, let's go on to the next one. We got Quinlan Salakid versus Anshu Jalubi.
Jalubi goes crazy.
Jubilee. Sorry. I'm switching tabs at the same time. Yeah, honestly, I'm not really making picks tonight, just you guys, but I kind of know where I'm going with this one. Never bet anybody on Indian MMA, so that's my pick. Nick,
hey, Phil,
you go first.
Phil, can you repeat what you just said for me? And could you tell me who's the first person to ever tell you that?
Never bet Indian MMA. And a wise man told me with a nice mustache, nice slick back hair. I think he's from Arizona or something like that. He taught me 2 things in life. Never bet women's MMA. That changes here and there. And never bet Indians MMA. So shout out to you, Nick. I want your prediction on this one.
Let's go. We never bet Indian MMA. Yes, we take the minus 575 chalk juice. Yes, we take Quaylen by finish. Always fade Indian MMA, dog. Boy was finished by Mike Breeden. He's going to be finished by fucking Quaylen. Let's go. Your turn, Big Mike.
Yeah, actually, to weigh in, I have a good friend of mine who's Indian, and he told me
no disrespect here, good friend, brother.
Don't bet on any Indian athlete ever. He says if you're feeling like a degen and you want to go online,
go.
He says go online and check out the tennis odds. If you see a name that looks like it's Indian and they're a favorite, immediately bet the other guy. And he legit told me that, and I have done it. And I'm not gonna lie, you can make some money betting against Indian tennis. But yeah, not to beat the dead horse for too long. We already know what's good with Anshul Jubilee. He has the skills. He's well-rounded. We saw him dominate Mike Breeden in his last fight, and all that it took for Mike Breeden to beat him was to bark and scream America, and he completely folded and got finished. The thing about Quillen Salkild, he's a lot better than Mike Breeden. And I think he's going to piece Anshul Jubilee up on the feet. I think he's going to get the fight to the ground, and I think he's going to win by submission relatively easily for Perth. And I'm very excited for this kid. I was excited for him coming out of Dana White's Contender Series. I'm excited for him. And Anshul Jubli, I cannot believe the way he lost that fight. So I'm looking for Saul Kill to get this motherfucker out of here, and I want him to do it emphatically. Because actually, let me not say I don't hate him, but I don't. He showed he's not a fighter in his last bout. He got scared in the middle of a fight when a dude who isn't even nice started barking at him. So give me Saul killed by submission for sure. But if inside the distance is plus money, that's a hammer spot all day, bro. I doubt he survives. I doubt this guy survives.
I want to give a quick shout out to Mike Breeden. On the day of the fight, I actually found out he was Cambodian. So shout out to Cambodia, baby.
Hey,
The only Cambodian to ever make it to the UFC. I didn't even know he
yeah.
was half Cambodian.
And he was smoking Jubilee, but he missed
Yeah,
weight.
he started
got
barking.
cut.
He started acting crazy.
Yeah,
But,
he did.
Fu says I only bet on the skins.
Hey, that's good. That's good. That's a different type of Indian.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we're not talking about Native Americans, okay? Let's not be fucking politically incorrect here, Fu. No one goes around and calls the Fu Puerto Rican, dog.
Nope.
What's Fu, Mexican?
I think he's Cuban.
Oh, is he? I was gonna say that fool's Mexican.
No, I'm fucking
He's
with
from
you. I'm
LA.
fucking you. He's
I was like,
Mexican.
that fool's from LA. I assume he's Mexican as fuck.
All right, this fight right here, Jonathan Mikhailov versus Kevin Jousset. Let's see, Kevin Jousset is a minus 258 favorite. All right, Mick, you first.
So the only thing out of all the fights on here, this is the one that I have the least amount of info on Jonathan Mikhailov than I do for any other fighter on this card. I know that people aren't super high on him from what I've heard. I'm looking at some stuff now. Mikhailov was an underdog in his last fight. It looks like he ended up winning by technical submission, triangle choke. He put this guy to sleep. 70% of people thought he was going to lose that fight. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to stand with Jousset. I feel like Jousset, although he got kind of bitched by Brian Battle in his last fight, I feel like Kevin Jousset is still good. I don't want to count him out or anything and say he's terrible. I'm pulling up Mikhailov's record. He has 2 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission. His only loss does come by knockout against Alden Bates. But he's coming off 2 straight submission wins, and I'm sure he's an underdog. What are the odds for this one again?
He is a plus 210 underdog on DraftKings.
I don't want to go dog hunting. I feel like Kevin Jousset's takedown defense should be able to hold up. He's also showed some good takedown offense in his own respect throughout his career. I guess I'm going to have to go with, if I want to be safe, I'm going to have to go with Jousset, but I would not be surprised, even with my limited knowledge on Mikhailov, if he's able to implement some grappling and potentially find a 3rd submission victory in a row. But on the safe side, I would pick Kevin Jousset because he's very good.
Nick?
Yeah, so I actually did a little bit of quick tape study because this is the one that I didn't have really a chance to tape it all during the week. So I was able to find the Matt Valle fight and actually the Alden Bates fight here for Mikhailov. If you guys want to search on YouTube, it's pretty easy to find. The Alden Bates fight, by the way, in the 4th round when he got knocked out, he was up 3-0 on Alden Bates, I thought, on the cards. And he kind of it was almost fluky the way he got knocked out in a way. It seemed like he came into the 4th round a little bit gassy. And I think he just gassed himself out. I had it 30-27 if it was a 3-round fight on that Alden Bates guy. And then the Matt Valle fight, Matt Valle had a lot of good movement here, but he kind of pieced him up from range. Regardless, though, I think Kevin Jousset's going to low kick his way to a decision in this fight. I think he's going to frustrate Mikhailov just by keeping his range, distance, low kick, jab to the stomach, jab, low kick, jab. The question is here now is Mikhailov can start to put on a high pressure and pace for the first 10 minutes of a fight. And he does seem to slow down that 3rd and 4th round. So my question is here is, does Kevin Jousset get so far ahead on the cards before he slows down? Or does Mikhailov go on and put this high pressure, high pace pedal to the metal style on it? I wouldn't put any money on this fight specifically. But if I had to go with a pure prediction, I'm going to go Kevin Jousset by a 29-28 decision. Mostly winning via low kick. So I think Mikhailov also, by the way, it would be in his best interest to grapple and cage push in this fight too as well.
All right, so you guys are both picking Kevin Jousset as the minus 258 favorite on DraftKings. Seems pretty simple. All right, let's move on to the next fight, which is Rong Zhu versus Cody Steele. This is Cody Steele's official USA debut, if I'm correct, and he is a minus 218 favorite against Rong Zhu. Let's go with Nick first. Nick, I think you're muted.
Oh, my bad. So this is one of my favorite prospects right here. I love Cody Steele. I know people like the fade Dana White Contender Series guys, especially on their first fights coming back. Me personally, when it comes to someone like Cody Steele, I know him from the jiu-jitsu scene before I knew him from the MMA scene. And then he started coming out the MMA scene and just started knocking motherfuckers out. But if you know, he has crazy high-level grappling. Trains with Damian from the B team, one of his closest friends here specifically. If you know Andrew Tackett and if you know about the Tackett brothers, he is best friends with the Tackett brothers. So you're getting grappling around with the fucking Tackett brothers. If you watch CJI, possibly a top 10 grappler on planet fucking Earth when it comes to Andrew and Michael Tackett. So he's getting nothing but crazy hard grappling rounds, trains with my boy Patchy Mix. And then when he comes onto the MMA scene, starts starching motherfuckers, has crisp, tight boxing combinations, sets things up with low kicks, good volume management. And then you have Rong Zhu, someone that can quit in fights, goes balls to the wall in the first round, can gas out in portions, gives up his back when he's standing up. I think this fight's pretty clear and cut. I think at minus 218, we're kind of getting a discount on Cody Steele. Once they drop the finish lines, this is my first hammer spot of the night. Cody Steele by finish is a fucking, I don't use the term, so I'm not going to use the term, but let's just say it's the term that rhymes with rock. Cody Steele by finish, I feel overly confident about it. At some point, Rong Zhu's either going to get clipped and then subbed in a club and sub motion, or he's going to give his back like he always does, and then my boy Cody Steele is going to take his back, choke him the fuck out, possibly put him to sleep. Cody Steele's him. I'm telling you guys, he's going to be a problem. His striking solid. I know his age is a little bit of concern for people, but when you have high-level grappling like this guy does, his offensive wrestling leaves a little bit to be desired, but when it comes to pure grappling, pure choking a motherfucker out, bro, he already has top 5 grappling in that division. I guarantee it. So
nice. Chris Kussman says Cody Steele is very well rounded. The way he fights explains everything.
Yeah, man. He's Cody Steele's the truth for sure. He's good everywhere. And actually, Nick was the one who got me hip on the grappling. I had known a little bit about him before, but I didn't really look into him until I saw how high Nick was on him. The thing about Rong Zhu, he's always on the wrong end. Like in his last fight, he was throwing bombs against Chris Padilla. He was doing all right. Chris Padilla ended up finishing him with a doctor stoppage TKO. I think Rong Zhu does have, decent striking. On his record, he has 15 knockouts, 6 wins by submission, only 3 decision wins. The only thing is, let's say Cody Steele is going to, if I had to guess how this fight goes, Cody Steele wants to test his striking a little bit, shake out the UFC jitters, probably strike a little. He might get tagged a couple times. I think it's, it's in Cody Steele's hand what he's going to do. Is he going to strike the entire fight? I doubt it. I have a feeling he gets a couple striking exchanges and then he goes to the grappling. Just like I know, Cody Steele is also aware 4 out of Rong Zhu's 6 losses are by submission. And Cody Steele is a super grappler. So give me Cody Steele by submission, whether it's a club and sub. I feel like he's going to get clipped on the feet. Not anything serious, but I feel like he's going to get hit. And he's going to be like, all right, let me be for real right now. Get the fight to the ground and find a sub within the first 2 rounds.
If I may say, as someone that loves boxing, man, Cody Steele has crisp boxing, man. Like, that's something that's overutilized and oversaid in MMA, which I hate, but his head movement's actually good. His defensive mechanics are actually good, and he responds well. He counterpunches well. I don't think Rong Zhu has the striking to do it to him, man. I really don't. I don't think this is the fight. I think the UFC knew what they were setting him up for. I think the Rong Zhu's on his way out. Is young, I just think Cody Steele's going to show him what time it is. I'm pretty confident about that. I think if he stood for all 3 rounds, I think he clips him eventually by minute 15. So,
yeah, he's especially a 218 favorite make his UFC debut. So it seems like both of you guys are both on Cody Steele. So that seems like, the word that rhymes with rock of the night. But let's move on to the next one. So this one is pretty interesting just because we got Alexandre Taporia versus Colby Thick Knees. Alexandre Topuria is a minus 395 favorite. Now, Colby Thicknesse is coming in as a short notice replacement, and he is also from Australia as well. So let's go with Mike.
So I heard the talk of the town isn't necessarily about these two fighters. It's who's going to be in their corners. I believe Ilia Topuria will be cornering his brother, and it sounds like Volk is going to be cornering Colby. So a lot of people are talking about this fight because of that. For me, I don't know too much about Colby. I would be leaning here. Alexandre Topuria, I know he does have a loss versus an undefeated fighter, or versus Colby, who was undefeated. But I think Topuria's loss came some years ago, and it was also at a heavier weight class. So I mean, I feel like I gotta go with Topuria here. Looking at Colby's, his wins, he has 2 by knockout, 2 by submission, 3 by decision, and the names, I don't recognize any of the names. I haven't dove too deeply into this one, but plain and simple, if Alexandre Topuria fights anything like his brother, and he's able to get out there and get his offense off, I think he's probably gonna. I mean, you would think. I mean, maybe I'm hyping it, but you would think he would get a finish. No, what do you think, Nick?
Where is it at? First dog watch of the night. First dog watch of the night. Wait a minute. We're talking about can crusher Alexandre Topuria, who only has 1 win against 1 opponent with winning records, against Colby Thicknesse, the slickness, sickness, down with the sickness. Let's fucking go at 3-1 dog odds. He was as high as plus 395 earlier today. Colby Thicknesse. Yes. Alexandre Topuria is going to come out there, strike him, storch him, and he's going to get hurt in the first round. But guess what? Topuria is going to gas his ass out after the first round. And then over the next 10 minutes, he's going to get fucking drowned by the slickness, thickness, baby. Give me thickness. Underdog watch. Plus 310.
He said, "Give me thickness." He said, "Give me thickness."
So we got another Mike versus Nick pick right here. So we got Mike with Alex Topuria, and then we got Thickness with Nick. Thick with Nick.
Nickness meets slickness, thickness, baby.
To be fair, though,
what up?
To be fair, though, I wouldn't be betting on Topuria at 4-1 favorite odds. So if anything, regardless,
we have to go look at his opponent's record.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that. So
I got you guys. Let me read these hoes out real quick. This boy's 5-1. Let's read his opponent's record. His first win, 0-3. Next one, 1-1. His loss versus a dude making his pro debut. Let's see what that dude that was making his pro debut up a weight class or not. At least he's 4-0. Respect. But he has a total combined win-loss record against his opponents of fucking, let me guess, 6-6-1. And then his next win, 7-18-1. Next win, 1-9. And then the next win, the only winning record on his record, 3-1. Oh, let's go look at the 3 wins on that dude's record. 0-4, 0-0, 7-4, which was a disqualification win. What the fuck are we talking about here, boys? At least Colby Thicknesse is fighting some decent fucking competition. And at least we know that he can go to a fucking decision and he can grapple for a portion of a minute or two. Man, slickness, thickness coming through, baby. I'm telling you, this is just like taking fading Walter Walker, guys. It's the same exact process in theory.
He won. He won in his debut.
No, who did he fucking lose to that we faded him for?
He beat Bresky. Wait, who did he lose?
Walter Walker did not win in his fucking debut.
I thought he beat Bresky.
I'm positive about that because I bet against him and I got the dude at plus 410 odds. Let me go look this up.
Bresky beat him?
That's what it was. Lucas Bresky.
Did Bresky beat him?
Ask fucking TJ. TJ bet on him too. It's the same exact theory, except here's the thing: Alexandre Topuria is not a bad fighter like Walter Walker is. Walter sucks. But the thing is Topuria gonna gas bag after round 1. Just saying, give me the first dog of the night. And yes, Bresky beat Walter Walker, bro. Unanimous decision.
Yeah, it was an ugly fight.
Yeah, it was. That was a bad one.
So, I just don't think the odds match, man. And maybe I'm stupid. Maybe they're setting up Topuria with a straight-up can. that I don't know about, but give me the slickness, thickness. Yeah, and for everyone to know, I'll always give a preemptive warning here. This is wiki capping for me. I haven't watched any tape on either of these two fighters. So
Well, so for me,
The record tells a story.
even though
I usually watch tape on most of these fights, but there are 2 fights on this card that I did not tape, and I literally wiki capped this one, and I will let y'all know when it comes up.
So even though my pick is Taporia, which is what I was trying to say, I'm not gonna bet on another guy debuting, even with his last name at 4-1 favorite odds. So if I probably won't be betting on this fight at all, but if I were to bet on it, I would probably take a sprinkle on the dog. You know, I pick Alexander Taporia. Am I gonna bet on a debut fighter at -400? Absolutely not. So that's all I'll say about that.
Well, I'm gonna bet on a guy named Thick and Knees because why not?
Cooler
He's gonna
name.
make the best name. Taporia, living off his brother's name. So let's move on to the next one. Conway versus Bruna Brazil. Conway's a -455 favorite.
See, I gotta thought about this one.
Mike, what you think about this one?
Bro, all I know is that Bruna Brazil, pre-Fighting Nerds, was not fighting very well. And then she gets with the Fighting Nerds, and then she wins her last fight dominantly. Who the fuck did she fight last? Bruna Brazil
It was Molly McCann.
Yeah, Bruna Brazil was impressive. And Molly McCann isn't the greatest fighter, but the thing is, she is a great striker. And she was fucking Molly McCann up, bro. And we know Bruna Brazil is, that's her thing. Her thing is striking. Ooh, Conway kind of pretty low key. But nah, bro, something is telling me these fighting nerds are getting Bruna Brazil into fucking fighting shape. I'm not calling Wang Kong a fraud. I mean, if there's anything close to a fraud check, it's gotta be that loss she just took.
Hey, Mike, are you insinuating these fighting nerds are doing something? Doing something a little extra for cardio?
They're doing.
I felt like there was a little inclination of what you were saying there.
The fighting nerds will whip her into shape, bro. And Wang Kong, I don't take anything off her in the last fight. She thought she was fighting a can. She was just negligently rushing Gabby Fernandez. And she ended up getting caught by a fucking head kick and dropped and submitted. I don't want to say that's luck, but at the same time, something is telling me Bruna Brazil. What is the odds for Bruna Brazil? She's got to be what? She's plus
350. Plus 350.
I mean, fuck, and that's the Nick Theory play too. This is the first female fight of the night, and something's telling me Bruna Brazil, and the theory is telling me Bruna Brazil. So fuck it, man. I don't know. I mean, at the odds, shit, throw a quarter of a unit on it, and you'll make bread if it hits. Obviously, don't throw too much on Bruna Brazil. But I think Wang Kong is unbettable, even if I was confident in her. It is boxing odds. And the thing is, the underdogs win a lot more often in MMA than they do in boxing. So I feel like Wang Kong, unbettable, even if she was my pick. Something's telling me Bruna Brazil and the Fighting Nerds are cooking something special. So I'm going to rock with Bruna Brazil.
Nick?
I don't really feel like I need to talk about this fight. Mike already said it for me, so I'm not going to do an echo chamber. My theory play. If you guys, anyone that's new listening, first female fight of the night, I always take the underdog. Doesn't matter who's fighting, I take the underdog. First female fight of the night. Bruna Brazil, Fighting Nerds, probably on the juice. I don't know why the fuck I'm echoing in my own headphones. It's pissing
Is that
me off.
Phil?
Sorry. Facebook. I was updated.
Okay, I was like, I don't like the sound of my own voice. It's pissing me off. But yeah, so Bruna Brazil plus 350 is what I'm taking. In actuality, they're probably setting her up to try to box her off, or they found someone that's tough on the juice and they think could possibly come up because she's young and beautiful. Either way, this is a win-win, I think, for the UFC because whoever win here is marketable in my personal opinion. So give me Bruna Brazil purely based on my theory play. Fuck yeah.
I agree.
All right. Next.
Also, too, as well, it's a numbers play. Like, how the fuck do you bet on a girl that just got finished by a significantly lesser opponent, in my opinion, Gabriela Fernandez? I think if Bruna Brazil and Gabriela Fernandez fought, I think Bruna Brazil probably wins that 8 out of 10 times. So, style-wise, maybe Bruna Brazil runs into something, but I like Bruna Brazil there. So, I mean, at least in terms of a theory play both ways.
Next one, Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borishlav. I cannot say these fucking names.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough
Yeah.
one.
So Borishlav is a minus 335, 135 favorite against Tom Nolan, who's a plus 114. Let's go, Nick. What do you think?
Phil, I think you're worse at pronouncing names than I am, to be honest with you, which is crazy. I never thought there'd be a person on planet Earth that's worse than I am.
Crazy enough, I'm better at pronouncing one championship names.
Yeah,
one
that's
championship.
crazy.
Like when I get to Russians, it's just like I can't pronounce shit.
Give me the under on this fight, especially since the under odds just moved up 5 cents too as well, right in front of us. Give me the under 1.5. You have Tom Nolan, who traditionally doesn't get out of the first round. And then you have Slava Claus, who's going to come in there and try to kick his liver off. Slava's naturally a gas bag. If Tom Nolan decides to grapple, he does get taken down like a bag of rice, quite frankly. He doesn't necessarily give up his back, but he will at times against the cage to get it taken there. So give me the under 1.5. I don't care if we've seen Tom Nolan go the distance in his last one and go hard 3 or whatnot. I'll take the under 1.5 at the plus money odds. So
Yeah, I like the under. I'm kind of blown that Borisov is a favorite. It's very close money, and I honestly I would say I'm riding with the dog here, but he's the favorite. Tom Nolan. I'm not sold on Tom Nolan. He lost to Dom Reyes' little bro or older brother, or he beat Dom Reyes' older brother by decision, which is crazy to me. I think Vyacheslav would have finished that fight first or second round. I don't know if it was Tom Nolan being more hesitant after he got slept, which I called, by the way, Nicholas Mata. But yeah, Borshev, he had that fight against Nazim Sadikov, who I rate pretty highly, and he was on death's door in the second round, and he came and turned the fuck up in round 3. So that shows me that he has the will to continue fighting. Obviously, in a matchup against like Mike Davis, where he was taken down 9 times, he was kind of just stuck there, not able to do anything. But in a striker versus striker matchup, Tom Nolan has no wins by submission. I don't think Tom Nolan's going to be looking to wrestle here unless he gets hurt, and I think at that point it might be a little bit too late. I feel like Vyacheslav Borshev is a better striker. Tom Nolan, he's tall and he's rangy and he's young. Borshev is 33. He's 9 years older. He's 3 inches shorter, 4-inch disadvantage in reach. But he's a tactician when it comes to striking. And if Tom Nolan isn't able to grapple, if he does find himself losing the striking exchanges, I think Tom Nolan's getting finished. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Nolan goes out there and knocks out Borisov either. But he's shown some durability. I mean, obviously against Chase Hooper, he was so scared of the takedown that big looping shot was able to drop him. But in a striker versus striking matchup where he knows that's not going to be as much of a threat, I really got to lean Borishev and his striking over Tom Nolan and his striking here. I think he's a tactician and he's a killer. So I'm going to go with the slight favorite in Vyacheslav Borshev. And there is a fight parlay on DraftKings. Nick mentioned the under. So if I was to take Vyacheslav Borshev and under 1.5 rounds, which will probably drop Wednesday, Thursday night, that'll probably be some pretty decent plus money. I'd guess around plus 200.
Sounds good. Let's move on to the next one. Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. Nick?
Man, I like Gabriel Santos, man, as a fighter. He's so fun to watch. High volume, high pressure forward. He's crazy as fuck. Jack Jenkins is someone with good leg kicks. I was a lot higher on Jack Jenkins, as I'm sure as a lot of people were, quite frankly. Jack Jenkins here, his leg kicks at one point, I felt like were one of the best in the game. Then when he fought Shepe, arm injury or not, just felt like it wasn't as useful. And, he fought a washed ass Herbert Burns, who was looking good in round 1, too, as well. As compared to Gabriel Santos, who's just a fucking killer, man. He comes forward almost like a bite your own tongue off kind of guy. His fight against David Onama is just a fucking war. I personally think you could have given him the fight against Lerone Murphy. But what are the odds on this fight one more time here for you?
Got you.
Painful odds.
Gabriel.
Yeah,
Santos
give me Jack Jenkins at plus money, man. I think Gabriel Santos doesn't have anywhere near the fight experience. I even think Man, outside of David Onama, who the fuck has Gabriel Santos fought beside, I guess, Lerone Murphy on that split
Those are
decision?
two
That's
good
stupid.
ass
Those are good.
fighters.
Yeah,
With
David
the split
Onama.
decision.
I know, man.
He
I
won
even,
that fight,
I even
though.
scored him for. I even scored it for fucking Gabriel Santos over Lerone.
Me too.
Fuck, man. It's hard not to want to take Gabriel Santos by finish here. I'm so conflicted on this one, bro. No bet for Nick. Nick's taking
No
the
bet.
pussy way out. No bet, no call. Sitting out and enjoying this one. I'm conflicted because the odds piss me off. But I think Gabriel Santos could get it done. But Jack Jenkins has the leg kicks. Gabriel Santos susceptible to no bet. On to Mike.
Yeah, this is probably if you were to tell me what is the hardest fight to pick on this entire card, I got to go with this fight because I feel like everything is telling me Gabriel Santos has the advantage everywhere. And I do believe that. But, fighting in his own backyard, Jack Jenkins he's serviceable. He's a good striker. He's broken 2 different people's legs with leg kicks. He's well-rounded in his own respect. And I don't know, man. Some intangibles come into play where Jack Jenkins is fighting in his own backyard. That could, give him a little bit of momentum, the hype, the volume for the fans in his favor. But I feel like I gotta go. I gotta pick Gabriel Santos. Dude, he was beating David Onama up until that vicious little shovel hook joint caught him and slept him. But Gabriel Santos is young. It's been a little while since he fought. He's 28 years old. I believe he's had time to recover. Gabriel Santos is a very good striker, very good grappling game, also great takedown defense. I think I got to go with Gabriel Santos, and I feel like I might consider him as a parlay piece. Minus 238 is honestly way different than I was expecting in terms of the odds. But I think he's the better fighter, and I feel like I have to pick the better fighter. I am nervous with Jack Jenkins being at home. I'm kind of feeling like Nick, but I'm going to go with my gut and say Gabriel Santos. I like him. He's great.
Shout
Yeah,
out
this
to
is definitely one of my
Cushman. He
favorite
said
fights
the
of the
under
card.
2.5. So I really fuck with that, Cushman, for real. Under 2.5 is actually super solid.
What's the odds on? The odds on that is plus 160.
160.
That's not bad.
Fu says time change can affect fighters too.
That's true. Yeah, but I believe Gabriel Santos is a professional. I think he's going to make sure he does what he needs to do to when it comes to fight day that he's going to be ready. That's going to be a fun one, man. I guarantee that fight is an absolute banger.
Yeah,
Personally,
man.
it should have been on the main card for me, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Easily should have been on the main card again. You could swap out any of those 3 fights under the co-main and main, and you get a better fight with Jack Jenkins and Gabriel Santos.
All right, next fight: Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. Mike, you go first. Jake Matthews a minus 230 favorite.
Oh wow, I did not know that. Hey, that just made my pick even easier. Because Jake Matthews he's a tough veteran. He's been in the UFC for a long time. This motherfucker is only 30 and he has like 20 fights in the UFC. Francisco Prado, he's solid to me, man. And Jake Matthews is one of those guys who he comes in and he's on sometimes, and then sometimes he's just off. And his career has kind of always been like that. He's just like, he's really on for this fight. I mean, he lost to Michael Morales recently. Phil Rowe, he beat Darius Flowers, finished. That doesn't really count. My guy, Matthew Semmelsberger beat him and he classed him. Matthew Semmelsberger absolutely outclassed him. Matt Semmelsberger, his career after that, I don't want to talk about that. Regardless, I don't want to talk about that. But he knocked out Andre Fialho, who's glass. Everyone's kind of knocking him out. He loses, goes on a couple, like right here, loss, 3 wins, loss, 3 wins, loss, 1 win, loss, 1 win, loss, 1 win. So based on his recent trajectory, he's trading loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And I think Francisco Prado, he spoke about moving up to welterweight after his last bout. And as we see, he's moving up to welterweight. He lost to Daniel Zellhuber by decision, knocked out Adman Azaitar. He has power, man, and he's fast. And I feel betting on Jake Matthews at minus 230, I can't do that. So I think I'm going to pick Francisco Prado based on danger factor. And Yeah, fuck it. I'm going Francisco Prado. I'm not gonna put hard-earned money on Jake Matthews for him to go out there and slum it. Not that that's a guarantee, but we've just seen it happen before.
Nick?
Yeah, so you have Jake Matthews, who is a full-grown welterweight, more UFC experience than Francisco Prado has professional experience. Francisco Prado moving up, of course, here, which clearly it's an easy way to look at it. It's one of two things happen. Either the fighter really takes in their strength and conditioning discipline and they grow into a solid, more compact version of themselves because they couldn't make the weight and the weight cut was a pain in the ass for them. Or they get sloppy, they eat a few extra burgers and they don't have to cut a few extra pounds when it comes to the camp and they don't put in the extra road work. Jake Matthews, consummate professional, been in essentially one of the first generations of fighters as a young man, not training in just jiu-jitsu, not training in just wrestling, but trained in MMA growing up, almost in that Rory McDonald kind of era and elk, I guess you could say. Jake Matthews, outside of Semmelsberger, really only loses to good guys. And Francisco Prado, who the fuck is he beat? Jesus fucking Ramos, motherfucking. He lost to Jamie fucking Shinny Malarkey. Otman Azaitar, Mr. One Round himself. Daniel Zellhuber is not a bad fighter at all, but I don't care about the trend of trade wins, win-losses. I won't take Jake Matthews at minus 230, but damn it, give me Jake Matthews by finish. I think he finds a finish at some point here. I think he's going to play bully ball, push him against the cage, use that boxing that we saw against Andre Fiallo, maybe rip, counter, and slip. Give me Jake Matthews by finish here. When we do get the inside odds, what's the under on this fight, Phil? What's the over-under on it? What's the odds?
Under under 2.5 plus 130.
So that means that Jake Matthews inside the distance props are going to be bare minimum 2-1. If we're getting under 2.5 plus odds, that means when they eventually drop the Jake Matthews finish props, we're going to get it over 2-1 odds. Give me Jake Matthews inside the distance at over 2-1 odds. Another Mike versus Nick pick. Francisco Prado, the number's not juicy enough to play him, and he hasn't shown me enough to want to take him against a veteran and a career vet like Jake Matthews, especially someone that's big as fuck and a bully. Even though that Matthew Semmelsberger loss does worry me because you know how I feel about Semi. I think he's a can.
Well, his striking's good, and he outstruck Matthews, and Matthews couldn't take him down. And Matthews, even great.
Semmelsberger has a good left hand. I wouldn't say his striking is good. He has a good piston of a left hand. Outside of that, he's okay. He's regional level.
He was boxing Jake Matthews' face off.
So
dropped him in all 3 rounds.
That's why I said it's fucking concerning.
Hey, if Jake Matthews wins by finish, I bet you it's by submission. I'll tell you that right now. I bet you it's by submission.
Oh, I thought you were trying to do another $20 bet, Dad, because you knew you would lose that. No. I was like, you know what would happen, Dad?
I think Jake Matthews has a good chance of winning this fight. I think Francisco Prado might show some explosive striking and catch Matthews. But if Matthews does win inside the distance, I'm willing to put money down that it's by submission.
That would be tight. I bet the submission odds going to be stupid money.
Yeah, bro. I bet you. And I feel like that's his most. If he's going to finish,
why bet me? Why don't you go bet Vegas, brother?
No.
Vegas will give you better odds than I ever would.
I ain't gonna bet you on that. No.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. So Bellato is a minus 62 favorite, and Jimmy Crute is a plus 136 underdog. Mike, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm so happy I didn't look at the odds because I was just trying to think about. So I'm looking at, obviously, Jimmy Crute has lost to some solid names, some not as solid names too, but he lost to Anthony Smith a while ago, lost to Jamal Hill, lost to Alonzo Menefiel after a draw. He beat Michael Olejniczak and Modestas Bukauskas. Those aren't terrible. I was trying to figure out a way that I could pick Jimmy Crute, especially because of the threat of sub. But his name's not Rolando. What the fuck's this guy's name?
Rodolfo
Bellato. He has 2 losses on his record, and they're both to Vitor Petrino. You know, Vitor Petrino is not the most amazing striker, and Rodolfo Bellato is there to be hit. So that makes sense that a guy with insane power was able to get 2 wins over him. I feel like based on the trajectory of their careers, Jimmy Crute is on a 3-fight losing streak. Rodolfo Bellato is a dog, even on death's doorstep against Ihor Potieria, which that broke my heart. But he was able to survive and find a finish of his own. We've seen him in the face of adversity. Jimmy Crute is not great, man. Rodolfo Bellato is not great either, but I was assuming the odds were going to be a lot wider than this. So Rodolfo Bellato at -162, or also inside the distance, which will probably be similar, but by knockout, we could find at +120, +150. I think he has a real chance to knock out Jimmy Crute. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Crute won. I just can't get myself to pick him. So I got Rodolfo Bellato in this fight.
Nick?
Yeah, man. I mean, how do you bet on a guy like Jimmy Crute when if Menifield didn't gas bag himself out, he would have already lost to Menifield in the first round after losing the first two. I mean, Alonzo Menifield's a low IQ fighter and a gas bag, and he lost 2 rounds to him clearly before actually losing to him in the next one. Getting finished by guys like Anthony Smith, even if it is like a leg break. Jimmy Crute retired and is coming back. That's never good in the sport of combat sports here, man. Rodolfo Bellato cracks hard. He's a big brute. He is suspect to be chinned, as we saw in his Contender Series fight against fucking Vitor Petrino. He got put out lights cold in that bad boy. This is a stay away fight, but I guess if you want to be ballsy, you can play fight not to start round 3, maybe. I don't know, bro. This is a non-bettable fight for me. Bellato's not worth an almost -170 number. If you were to bet him, you could only take Bellato inside the distance, in my personal opinion. What is this young man's finish rate? Let's see here. Oh, shit. A very high finish rate. So, yeah, his inside the distance prop will probably be around like +110 or something of that nature. But then at that point, do you want to trust the juice and take the veteran and Jimmy Crute? Jimmy Crute's ready to sell houses, man. So I guess if I had to pick something, give me Bellato, and I'm going to ride with Mike and give me Bellato inside the distance. Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's move on to the third card of the main fight. Justin Tafa versus Thaleson Teixeira. Thaleson Teixeira has actually just won his Contender Series 4 months ago. And Tafa has lost a fight against Carl Williams. Not really the most entertaining fight, but we got heavyweights to open on the third fight of the main card. Nick, what do you think?
Here's the thing: is Thaleson Teixeira has a sniper of a 1-2, a lot of first round finishes, maybe not high distance volume finishes. Justin Tafa is suspect to be hit. The one thing that worries me is body locks. Justin Tafa getting up against the cage, body lock, and dragging this motherfucker down and laying on top of him, because that is a huge boy to be on top of you. It's the only thing that worries me. Outside of that, I think we're getting a gift line here at -135 for Thaleson. Give me Thaleson Teixeira at -135. When the lines do drop, what's the over-under on it? What's the under 1.5? I'm assuming it's 1.5, but what are the odds on it?
They don't have the odds yet, but I could check Bet Online AG for you.
Wait, they don't have the under odds on it? They have it for all the other fights. They should for this one, too.
They don't have it for Teixeira. They don't have it for the Weili Zhang fight.
No shit.
But they do have it for Duplessis.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know why that is.
Well, whatever it is, I will take Teixeira, and I think Teixeira actually, even though Tafa is a tough ass fucking Pacific Islander, I don't want to call him a Samoan because I don't think he is Samoan. But
okay, so I got the odds right here on Bet
thank
Online.
you, brother.
So
under 1.5 -205. No, thank you. Give me Thaleson Teixeira's money line at -135. I can play it straight, and it's actually a good parlay piece. I don't think Tafa wins here, and I think Tafa's only chance is a body lock takedown. And does Tafa even have the cardio to get 2 body lock takedowns in rounds 2 and 3? I don't know if he does, man. Give me Thaleson Teixeira. Finish him straight right hand down the pipe to finish this bad boy.
Mike?
I got Thaleson Teixeira, and honestly, I called it, bro, in his last fight. He has 1 sub, and I fucking called it. It was like plus 3,300. I actually, if the line is anywhere close to that, I'll go back to it again. So I like Thaleson Teixeira money line, and then a sprinkle on knockout and a sprinkle on submission, each separately, just because the submission might be very juicy. If I had to guess, the knockout's probably pretty close to what his money line looks like. But if we see Thaleson Teixeira by submission plus 1,800 or something crazy like that, I will definitely take that. Justin Tafa is a decent striker. Thaleson Teixeira, I feel like could be, hey, let me show that I'm well-rounded and I'll finish this fight. If he gets Tafa down and he gives him an advantageous position, who's to say he's not going to snatch up the neck? So I definitely like Taliesin Teixeira inside the distance, but I'm probably going to go out of my way to try to snipe a submission prop.
Yeah, Taliesin Teixeira fucking stands at 6'7".
Yeah, bro.
Fucking Tafa's freaking 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeesh. And then he's got a 9-inch reach advantage as well.
Yeah, that's good choking arms right there, baby. I would probably lean knockout, but I will not be surprised if he locks up another sub. And I think this kid might be actually real good. So I'm hoping he wins. I like Tafa, but it'll be sad if somebody who we think might actually be good, who actually is very big, goes in there and gets starched by 7-4 Justin Tafa.
Dude, the heavyweight division needs a lot of help just because, like, they need a guy like Taliesin Teixeira to fucking make a statement in his debut. Because, bro, they just released Jairzinho Rosenstruck, and then Dontel Mays and Jonita Denise just entered the top 15. Disgusting, bro. Absolutely disgusting.
It's almost it's disgraceful. It's funny too because that used to be a highest selling division in all of combat sports. That is insane work right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rush Hour Fight Club, baby. Hell yeah. Good to see you guys breaking down this card.
Our boy Jay, that's my fucking dog right there. I love that fucking guy.
My brother. And so, yeah, we need the heavyweight divisions in fucking dire need of new guys. So hopefully Taliesin Teixeira can at least make a statement and be exciting and not be, what's it called, a bust like Rebellis to Spain, where everybody had high hopes on. But next fight,
I think the guys that are coming from the Contender Series for this card are solid prospects for their divisions.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this card.
And let's go to the co-main event. We got Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez. Wow, I didn't even notice. Zhang is a plus 102 underdog. Suarez is a minus 122 favorite. The under is 3.5, and it's kind of like close to even odds, 105. And then the over is 125. Let's go with Nick. I really want to hear your opinion on this one.
Yeah, man. So this one is very interesting to me. You have Tatiana Suarez, high-level wrestler. Her grappling is getting better. And what I mean by that is her submission game is getting better. Her attack is getting better. Her footwork on the feet is very underrated. She's, as everyone knows, she's dealt with everything from cancer to injuries. So she's just had a lot of runs and a lot of hiccups. Then you have Weili Zhang, who, has a kryptonite of, Rose Namajunas. Outside of that, Weili Zhang is a fucking dominator of her division. Has fought in over 6 title fights. So she's been there and done that. She's athletic as shit. She's strong as shit. She's been implementing an offensive wrestling game plan herself lately. Tatiana Suarez, as everyone knows, is her boyfriend's my favorite fighter, Apache Mix, who I think is one of the best, if not the best MMA grappler on planet Earth. So I think that only plays into the favor of her always being living literally with someone such high level. I'm very torn on this fight. Do I take the experience in Weili Zhang, someone who I think is going to put on a pace in rounds 4 and 5 and maybe in rounds 3? We have seen her get taken down. We have seen her give up her back. We have seen her struggle in pure grappling consistencies. We have seen her not also struggle getting off the cage. As compared to Weili Zhang, when it comes to everything else besides the wrestling, she's better everywhere. She's more athletic, better cardio, championship experience, better striking, more powerful striker on the feet. Give me it plus money, Weili Zhang. Give me the champ here. Give me the champ to retain. And I'm going to be watching this fight live very specifically because it seems like Tatiana is huffing air at any point in time. I'm taking it. So I like Weili Zhang. Yeah, give me Weili Zhang here at plus money.
I feel like Tatiana's a big strawweight, to be honest. I feel like she'd be better at flyweight. Am I wrong for that?
She's only an inch taller than Weili Zhang, but she does seem big, bro. And that's the thing about these heights and reaches, because I'm like, Tatiana Suarez is big. And then I look at her, I'm like, wait, she's only an inch taller? That doesn't seem, for some reason, that seems off.
Yeah. What's crazy, too,
I think
is the age.
We have to wait till the weigh-ins. And I think when we see the weigh-ins, I think we're going to see, oh, there is a difference here.
Yeah,
they're very similar in age, though. I'm a big Tatiana Suarez fan. I love the cancer story, like, overcoming cancer. That's massive. Her and Patchy Mix, power couple in MMA. I really like Tatiana Suarez. On the other hand, I really like Wei Li Zhang as well. If I were to pick who I want to win, either way, I'll be happy because either way, Wei Li gets another defense, and then if Suarez wins, then we got Suarez. Comeback story completed, amazing. Either way, I'll be happy from a fan standpoint. Although I kind of am pulling for Suarez, I see Wei Li Zhang as a much more experienced fighter. She's been there, done that. She's so good, bro. She can scramble well. Even if Tatiana has a wrestling advantage, I 100% trust in, maybe not 100%, but I trust in Wei Li's ability to scramble and get back to her feet if necessary. I think she's the better striker by a mile. Suarez does have a good submission game, but I feel like Zhang Wei Li, in her own respect, is dangerous to finish the fight there as well. I gotta pick Wei Li, and I'm surprised at the odds. I'm surprised that she's an underdog, but I want Suarez to win, kinda, but my heart's telling me Wei Li, and I feel like plus 102 is pretty amazing value on the fighter of somebody who we've seen do this time and time again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zhang Wei Li too. I think
She's a beast.
her plus money too, and she's been way more active than Tatiana Suarez over the last couple of years too. So
Yeah, that's a big thing, bro. The activity and the fact that the plus money on God, she's so athletic, bro. She defies athleticism at her weight class.
She picked up Shaq.
She picked up Shaq. She picked up Ngannou. She's picking up all the black guys.
That's crazy though. She's so tiny, bro, and she's so fucking cut. And even seeing her on pads, the force that she hits the goddamn pad with, you're like, man, this little. I remember one time I was at work, I was bartending. This is when I was drinking a lot, and I was down real bad on my bookie for the week, and I was just like, oh my god, I lost so much money, bro. I was like, all right, let me just throw a nuke of a bet in, and I'm behind the bar, drunk, losing a bunch of money, and I was like, okay, let me pick the safest bet. Okay, Zhang Wei Li minus 200. Throw a hammer down on it against Rose Namajunas. Got knocked out in the first round. I was sitting there and I was like, bro, what am I gonna do here? And that was the last time. I bet on her. But I think I'm gonna bet on her again here. It's a good spot, much better odds, and less dangerous of an opponent, in my opinion, unless she does find herself getting submitted. There's a chance, but I would probably give that a 25% to 30% likelihood.
Who knows what's up? I don't bet women's MMA.
I mean, this is the most elite women you could bet on right here. Like Zhang Wei Li, she is a woman, yes, but she don't fight like one. I'll tell you that.
Hey guys, I got good news for you guys.
What's up?
So they just dropped all the method of victories and everything for Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland.
Oh, nice.
Man. So DDP is a minus 205 favorite, and Sean Strickland is a plus 170 underdog. Nick, who do you got?
The 205 money line on DDP is kind of a fucking insane price tag. I hate Sean Strickland, but man, I got to respect him. I got to respect his defensive tendencies. I got to respect his cardio. He has all the things that I like in a fighter: good defensive tendencies, high level pace, and high level cardio. With that being said, man, I don't know what it is about DDP. He always just finds his way into something so stupid. And now I have to play another one of my theories is when you have a fight that goes the distance the first time, when you get a rematch, I always like to take the fight not to go the distance for the rematch. So could you go to a fight props for me and see what the fight not to go the distance is? It's up, scroll up. Fight props. It's on this type bar.
Fight to go the distance, no, is plus 130.
Yeah, so give me a fight to go the distance, no, at plus 130, whether that is a beatdown of attrition by Sean Strickland, finally getting the violent finish that he's been talking shit about, or that is DDP getting some crazy DDP bullshit and then choking him out or knocking him out. So give me a fight not to go the distance at plus 130. I'm going to stay away from moneyline bets completely here.
So this is a hill that I'm willing to die on.
God, I can't wait to hear this.
Round 2 in the first fight, unanimously was given to DDP. They had the same amount of strikes, but in that round, Sean Strickland closed DDP's eye with a punch. He did the damage in a round that was very even. He did the damage that changed Dricus's face. He literally shut his eyes, swollen with a punch. So in my opinion, that round should have been Sean Strickland's, and in that case, we'd be looking at Sean Strickland and Still. The only thing about that is I have a weird feeling that DDP is going to beat his ass this time. We were just talking about it over the weekend. Like I said, a lot of the time you can't call a close fight a robbery, but based on the way that it was scored and round two not going to Sean Strickland, that's why I use the term robbery. Because how in the world does round two not go to Sean Strickland? That being said, though, like I just said, I have a weird feeling Duplessis whoops him this time. And I like both guys. Sean Strickland just seems like, and this could not be true, but Sean Strickland seems to be distracted by a lot of other things going on right now. He seems a little more manic than usual, even though he always kind of is crazy. Dricus Duplessis is dialed in. He has momentum as the champion. He has that champion aura. He's finished Robert Whitaker. He beat Sean Strickland already. He finished Izzy, first guy ever to submit him. He's on a roll, man. And at this point, I feel like it's kind of hard to like, how am I going to pick against Dricus Duplessis at this point? I bet Darren Till when he fought Dricus Duplessis, but that was the last time I bet against him. And time in, time again, I don't know what can possibly make me bet against him, So if Sean Strickland was a bigger underdog, I would take Sean Strickland. Maybe if he was like plus 300, plus 350, because I do think he has a chance to win here. Something's just telling me DDP makes it a lot more decisive this time.
Yeah. Just like the Kansas City Chiefs, you can't bet against Dricus Duplessis right now. So it's
the parlay of the weekend, Duplessis and the Chiefs, right?
KC and DDP. That's
Let's
the
go.
parlay of the weekend. But
That's just
yeah.
hit.
So since you said that you think he's gonna beat his ass this time, you think he's gonna get the win by the knockout?
See,
or TKO?
if I was leaning, because although Dricus Duplessis, he's showed us that he can get submissions. I feel like people can say whatever they want, but Sean Strickland's defensive wrestling and grappling is very, very good. And so is his striking defense. Sean Strickland is very well-rounded everywhere, offensively and defensively. I guess it's hard to say if I think Dricus can finish him. I mean, the chances that he catches him on the feet with the style that he has, I think Sean Strickland's going to see the shots coming. He also has really good endurance. I mean, if DDP was going to finish him, if he's able to get him down and ground and pound him, I don't see him submitting him, and I really don't see him knocking him out. I feel like I don't even know, bro. It's hard to say. Like when I say he's going to win a lot more decisively than he did the first time, I don't know if that means finish. The more I'm talking, the less confident I am. But I just got a feeling about DDP, man. I don't think he's going to be denied this weekend. And
yeah, I think he successfully defends his title this weekend. I think he actually might stop Sean Strickland this time. Usually, the first fight he's trying to win the fight. Next one he's trying to beat your ass.
Make a statement.
So make a statement, exactly. But for you guys, because I'm not really a gambling man no more, but if I were to gamble this weekend, we'll start with Nick. Give me your 3 picks that you would choose from this card. And you're muted.
I know. It's because I was looking, to be honest with you. I don't do parlays anymore, bro. I can't tell you the last time I did a parlay, to be honest with you. I'm a straight bettor.
Well, not even just parlay. Just give me 3 picks. If I wanted 3 straight picks, or even put them in a parlay.
It hasn't dropped yet, but give me Hun Sung Park by finish. I'll take him inside the distance. Give me Cody Steele inside the distance when it drops. And just purely based off the number, I love fading a can crusher. Give me the slickness thickness at plus 310. So, but my most confident play is Cody Steele inside the distance. When Cody Steele inside the distance prop drops at whatever plus money, that will be a fucking hammer spot, boys.
Mike, your 3?
If I'm looking at picks that I feel relatively confident in, I like Cody Steele. He's a minus 218 favorite. Rodolfo Bellato, just because like Nick said, how am I going to bet on Jimmy Crew? He retired, came back. He's about to beat Jimmy Flick and get finished. And then I got to say, I mean, fuck, man. Taliesin Teixeira's odds are crazy. I want to take out Cody Steele for that, but Cody Steele I'm very confident in. And you know what? Zhang Wei lead out a little bit of plus money. If I'm going to parlay those 3 together, Rodolfo Bellato, Cody Steele, and Zhang Wei Li, plus 376. Not the craziest juice, But those are 3 picks that I'm confident in. I want to say I'm confident to share, but I have trouble getting myself to bet on a parlay, like putting him as a parlay piece, as a heavyweight UFC debut coming off Dana White's Contender Series. I don't know, man. There's some decent spots here, though. Wei Lee, Teixeira, those are close money. Rodolfo Bellato, relatively close money. Cody Steele, a la his name, I do think is a steal this weekend at minus 218. Like, if I was a big money better, I'll throw a couple bands on him.
Yeah, I'm thinking putting in, if I were to put a parlay at least, like a 3-pick, I'm thinking Steele.
Oh,
Thinking
Gabriel
DD.
Santos, too. Gabriel Santos. Oh, hey, that's one right there, bro. Did you say DDP?
DDP. For me personally, it would be Cody Steele, DDP, and Thickenese.
That's a crazy one. I like, if I'm gonna go, because you
Fire
see
parlay, though.
Cody Steele minus 218, Dricus du Plessis minus 205. Somebody else who's right in that close proximity of odds, Gabriel Santos. Those 3 together plus 208. But even with yours, if you put thick and knees in there, that parlay is going to be plus 768. So 7.68 times your money. It's not bad.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up our freaking picks this weekend. But before we wrap up the picks in general, I want to know you guys Super Bowl fucking weekend, all right? Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles. If I can check out the odds right now. Ooh, all right. Let's see. I know Nick's got the freaking the Chiefs jersey on, so I kind of assume what team he's picking this weekend.
No, I just felt like wearing the Derek Johnson jersey, and the fact that the Chiefs are playing this week. I could have wore the Asante Samuel jersey. I wore an Eagles jersey last week, so it's kind of like was just the theme. Wore the Eagles jersey last week, Chiefs jersey this week.
Gotcha.
I'm actually, I think the Chiefs or the Eagles actually win this one. I think the good luck finally runs out. I think the Eagles finally get a spark on offense. Give me Devontae Smith anytime touchdown at plus 250. It's my favorite touchdown scorer prop. Give me the Eagles at plus money, plus 100. Yeah, Black Magic runs out. So hate to say it, boss man, but you assumed wrong. I'm taking the birds, dog. So no, I do actually. I like that, and I actually think this is going to be a high-scoring Super Bowl. So give me the over too as well. Those are 3 picks I really, really like. Chiefs are the Eagles money line, Vontae Smith, Tutty Bird, and over on the points, 48.5.
To me, it kind of feels like, yeah, the Black Magic is running out. Like, you guys have been lucky all fucking season long, getting away with all these ref calls. Speaking of ref calls, the Chiefs, when they beat the Eagles last time, is because of a ref call from what's his name? What's that corner that put the pass interference on Juju Smith-Schuster? Do you remember his name from the Eagles?
Is it James Bradbury?
Yeah, there we go. And he kind of like admitted it, it wasn't really like a pass interference. So I think the juice is running out for KC, but then again, KC just might fucking win it again, and we have to go.
Too good, man.
It is what it is. What do you
Dude,
got,
too
Mike?
good. Low key, I kind of like Saquon Barkley under 112.5 rushing yards. I honestly feel like that's hitting. He's been going off so much, but when they go against the Chiefs and their elite defense, I think they're going to have to figure out a different way to get it done. I also was looking at Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown scorer. Somebody else who sticks out, the odds aren't as good as they used to be, but the rookie is coming in clutch. He learned how to run routes towards the end of the season. Xavier Worthy has been absolutely on fire. I think he has a good chance to score. And then a low-key scorer, Hollywood Brown, man. He's, up and down in his last couple games, but I think Hollywood Brown has been making some strides. I like the Chiefs money line. If I was going to put a couple of the picks I said into a parlay, Chiefs money line, Xavier Worthy, anytime touchdown scorer, Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown scorer, and Saquon Barkley under 112.5 yards, plus 2,300 for that. But that's obviously a lotto. Give me the Chiefs money line and give me, I want to say over 48, but God, I know they blew that out of the water when they played 2 years ago. But I like Chiefs money line. I agree with Nick, Devontae Smith to score, and let me get Xavier Worthy. Fuck it. But I'm rocking with the Chiefs all day. I'm not going to be rooting for my NFC East nemesis. Ain't no damn way, shorty. Jalen Hurts, the Saquon farming merchant. Greatest O-line in the league merchant.
Yeah,
That's
funny.
insane, brother.
Just because I love Mike so much, it makes me not want to bet the Eagles just because I love Mike.
I hate both teams a lot, but Eagles got more of my favorite players on there before they even went to the Eagles. Because I used to love Jalen Hurts in college, and I love Saquon Barkley in college, and when he played for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I like Saquon
Phil,
too.
our teams have a long way to go before we even sniff the fucking Super Bowl, dog.
Hey, we've seen the Commanders turning around, so anything's possible.
Yeah, well, I'll say it as a Cardinals fan, not with fucking Michael Bidwell running the show.
It is what it is, baby. Mike Vrabel season, baby. We're gonna get Myles Garrett. We're gonna get T. Higgins. We're gonna get Cooper Kupp. Yo, this is our year, bro. Like I'm telling you, bro.
We got the most cap space in the league with the Commanders, baby. I see Myles Garrett. Hey, fuck it. Give me Michael Parsons too, and let me see Cooper Kupp. Give me all three of that. We got the room for it. We got the bread for it. We got 85 mil in cap space, maybe a little bit more.
You guys are settling for Cortland Sutton, so that's about it.
Dude,
That's hilarious.
I'll be happy with that. I'll be fucking happy with
Cortland Sutton would be a fire number 2 receiver to Scary Terry. Are you kidding me?
Dude, they were talking about DK Metcalf too, and people say he's washed, but regardless, he's still fast. Terry McLaurin, elite route runner. DK Metcalf just gonna blow down the field.
Nah, DK Metcalf wants to stay in the division, say fuck the Hawks. He's coming to the Cardinals, bro. He's going to be the number 2 receiver, dog. We're going to have Michael Wilson in the slot, dog. And then the Cardinals are going to fucking rip some dicks up, dog.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. A lot of
DK's
potential
probably
for
go to the Raiders.
a lot of the potential for the Cardinals and the Patriots and the Commanders. All of our teams could be looking to have better days here soon.
Yeah,
Better days than
this
the Browns.
honestly though, it's hilarious. Is this free agency class is fucking garbage. Like when you look at this free agency class in a whole, it has T. Higgins, Trey Smith, Chris Godwin, who's kind of iffy because he's coming off the injury. It's really not that loaded. I mean, if you look at the cornerback class, the best cornerbacks are fucking Carlton Davis, Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy's not bad. Wasn't he a Pro Bowl?
Nah, he's an Arizona boy, so I don't mind him. He played himself into a good contract because he had like 6 picks this year. More of a slot guy. There's one more cornerback that I'm forgetting that's going to be like everyone's top cornerback, and I'm having such a mind block on who the fuck that is. It's not Rasul Douglas either, but he is a free agent too. So it's just not a very good free agent class, to be honest with you. This is not the class I would want to be spending a bunch of money in.
Yeah, and I mean, if T. Higgins ain't going to get paid, there's going to be me and Mike's team fighting for freaking T. Higgins. So we'll see what happens. But
you guys are hilarious, bro. T. Higgins is not going to go either to the Patriots for another fucking rebuild. He's not doing that. The Commanders maybe, but he's not going to go be a number 2 receiver anywhere. You both
he'll
can
be
keep
the number
fucking,
1 of the Commanders.
You keep fucking dreaming. Keep
he'll
fucking
be the
dreaming.
Number 1. He'll be the number 1.
Scary Terry's top 5 in the league. Get the fuck
he's gonna
out
take
of
a back
here.
seat. He's gonna take. He's 29, 30 now.
Horrible.
Nah, he's 27 maybe.
Horrible take. What? T. Higgins is going neither to the Patriots where
Scary Terry is turning 30 this year.
That's a scary sight, baby. He's gonna be primed and ready to go. He has 7 straight seasons now with 1,000. Am I tripping?
Nah, he's one of the best.
And he led the league, and he was second in the league in Teddy Birds this year too.
Only behind Jamar Chase. He scored more than Jay Jettis, baby. And what you know about it? I'm lit.
Shut up, Mike. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
We got to call it a stream. So I appreciate y'all tonight. Mike, can you send us out with an outro?
Hey, I just want y'all to know, if you're betting your own money, do your own research. You can listen to us for some advice, maybe not even advice, just to get a different opinion, different point of view. But always do your own research, bet responsibly. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter for all of your newest and latest fight updates, fight news, anything crazy going on in the MMA world. We got it right up there. Phil's pointing at it. CST, Combat Sports Today. Show us some love. And, above all else, have fun, bet responsibly, enjoy the fights this weekend, guys.